me, my gamer tag is xEAGEROGREx. And I run a clan called Gamers United. I wanted today to talk about one of our relationships with a great company, which is Kontrol Freek, and some of their products, and how I use them and the different controllers that I use, because I get a lot of questions about what are the Kontrol Freeks, do they really work, do you use them, how to use them, and which ones do you recommend. So I want to kind of cover which ones I use and for what applications, and to show some of their products today, and to talk about the controllers that I use while I play Xbox Live. Now first, I want to talk about this controller, which I just won in a Ghost Recon tournament on Evo Gaming. Love this controller. It's got a great custom feel to it, custom paint design, and I've got it set up with the stock, actually these are the CQCs, and I'll explain why I use those in just a second, and I'll talk a little bit more about this controller. Here is my main controller that I play probably 80% with when I just jump on real quick, and this is a stock Microsoft controller, and it also has some Kontrol Freeks already attached to it, and I'll talk about why I use the ones I do for this controller. And here is my modded controller. It is a limited edition custom skin. It's got the nuclear symbol, carbon fiber top. The back is completely stock. And this controller has a mod installed on it, and I've done a video on this one in the past. And I'll talk about which Kontrol Freeks I like to use for this one as well. So again, my gamer tag is xEAGEROGREx. I've been playing Xbox Live for over 10 years, and I run Gamers United. We're a community/clan that has 3 squads. Currently we operate on Battlefield 3, Modern Warfare 3, and Ghost Recon Future Soldier. And we play competitive matches on a variety of sites and play in online tournaments. So for years I've been competing against other top programs online and running a top program myself. And we created a relationship with a company called Kontrol Freeks, and they help us out. They give, we have a sponsorship program with them, and anyone can come to our site and take benefit of part of the sponsorship, which is 10% off Kontrol Freek products. And I'll attach a link to this video at the end of the video where you guys can pick up your Kontrol Freeks for 10% off. Kontrol Freeks aren't really expensive, and I always tell people that they're one of the least expensive things that they can do for themselves to improve their overall gaming. And a lot of people say, well, do you use them? And the answer is absolutely, unequivocally, yes, I use them on every controller that I play with. If I had 2 controllers side by side and one had the Kontrol Freeks and one didn't, 10 out of 10 times I'm going to pick up the controller with the Kontrol Freek and play with it and use it. I believe in them that much. So Kontrol Freeks has a variety of products, and right here, although this is the packaging that the Kontrol Freeks come in, and this one is labeled as the CQCs. Now inside this package is not the CQCs. These are actually the stock or the original Kontrol Freeks. So they just come in a little thing, little paper holder kind of like this. One thing I do want to point out, which is printed on the back of their labeling here, is a warning that talks about the choking hazard, danger, because these are small pieces. So if you have kids, do be aware that there is a potential for choking hazard with the small items. But basically this is the standard Kontrol Freek. This is what they look like. A lot of people say, do they damage your controller? Absolutely not, as long as you're careful when you place the product onto your controller. And I'm going to talk about which ones I have and which ones I have placed onto my controllers and why. Now the CQCs are actually a little bit shorter of a Kontrol Freek. And the science behind the Kontrol Freek is basically that it gives you a little bit more space. It's geometry, so it creates a higher axis point on the top, which allows you to move your thumbs less at the top and to create more movement at the bottom angle. So it allows you to be quicker with less motion to get on shot quicker. And as you get used to the Kontrol Freek, which does take a couple days, sometimes I say, a week, maybe 2 weeks to become fully adjusted to the product, You will be able to turn up your sensitivity, and you will be quicker and more responsive as a gamer while using the Kontrol Freeks. So again, going back to this controller, which is the Ghost Recon custom controller by Mad Catz, and it has the LEDs underneath the thumbsticks, and it has the mapped buttons on the back, which is great for Ghost Recon because while you're running, you can press one of these and you can go into the roll mode and hit the ground. It's kind of like doing a drop shot on Call of Duty, and it's kind of got that feature, and it's really easy to get your hand on the back of the controller. The thing that I found is I really like the CQC. Now you'll notice the CQCs are not very high. They only give you a minimal bump up, which is perfect for this controller because I want to be able to keep my hand on the back. And the higher up I go, the more I feel disconnected from the back button. Actually, the further down on the back of the controller it wants to push my hand. So having the shorter Kontrol Freek gives me the nice grip. It gives me the little extra bump and the little extra quickness that I'm looking for, but also allows me to stay on target with the back extra buttons on this controller. So absolutely on this one, I think the best solution is the CQC, the Close Quarter Combat, or the smaller, shorter Kontrol Freek. Now, on this controller, which is the one that I normally use, it's the standard stock Microsoft controller. You'll notice that these are the standard length or height Kontrol Freeks, and these came out for Black Ops. They now have the MW3 Elites, but these were referred to as the Freek Elites, and they had the nice little custom design and standard Kontrol Freek height. And when I don't have to worry about the buttons on the back of the controller because it's a stock controller obviously, this is perfect for me, and it gives you maximum Kontrol Freek control and height and maximum ability to up your sensitivity, especially effective on your Call of Duties and on most of your shooters. I even play my Ghost Recon with this controller when I don't plug the other one in because I do have kids and sometimes the cord is just a pain. So you know, I only use that late at night, or if I'm playing in a tournament, or I absolutely want to have the ultimate advantage in Ghost Recon, that I go to this controller. And this product right here, so we've talked about the CQCs, we've talked about the Kontrol Elites, we've talked about the standard, which is the least expensive. The least expensive of the Kontrol Freeks, coming in at only about $10 plus shipping, which is a great add-on, very inexpensive, and you can get 10% off on our site and at our link for those. And here is my custom modded controller that I use on the rarest of occasions when I'm playing a game, mostly for fun, or if I want to play zombies or something like that on like the Black Ops and I want to go with a mod, or get the mod pistol out, or I'm playing some pistol only stuff with just the team and we just want to kind of have some fun, I'll get this guy out. And used it very sparingly, but you know, typically I would use the standard Freek on this controller, and you can see that they just kind of snap down on top of the thumb pad to install, and voila, you have Kontrol Freeks now added to the left thumbstick, and even with one hand they're just that easy to pop on. And now you have two, but they're very snug, stay on very well, won't come off, never had one pop off on me. And finally, I want to talk about this product, which is the Sniper, and it's got a really sticky top to it, really good grip, but it's basically the same thing as the standard. You're just getting a different design on the top, and it's rounded a little bit, so it's got a little bit of a rounded feel. Some people like that. This is a concave design. All the basic ones are kind of concave, and then the Sniper has a rounded top on it. I guess you can see that there. So it's all in what you're looking for. I don't use the Snipers a whole lot, but it does give you kind of that feel in the middle where you can kind of get that extra tackiness to that. So again, Gamers United has a great relationship, and I wanted to say a special thank you to all the people, Matt over at Kontrol Freek, who helps us out, sends out sponsorship packages to the members at Gamers United. And just to really highly recommend this product because I love it. I play with it all the time. I recommend it to all the members of Gamers United in our community, as well as anyone who wants to find a tip online to try to make their game a little bit better and to be a little bit better at the games they play. Again, this is Eager Ogre from Gamers United recommending the Kontrol Freeks and showing you the controllers that I like to game with.